Hello, my name is Michael O'Keefe, aka The Movie Wist. If you enjoy this interview and want to hear more top-notch film industry conversations, please press the thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell to stay in the know. Hello, Paola Calvo and Patrick Jasim. What is the best reason to watch your documentary, Luchadoras?
Luchadoras is a film about female empowerment, and it portrays women in Ciudad Juarez. And we will say every woman in Juarez is a fighter. So, yeah, I think it's a way to break prejudices. Also, this film represents women in a different way you used to listen about women in Ciudad Juarez. Like Ciudad Juarez was very famous because of all the femicides happening in the 90s and beginning of the 2000s. And we discover a community of a very strong women who are together and fight against that. And so, yeah.
Cool. Tell me about the Mexican city you filmed this documentary in.
Yes, Ciudad Juarez is at the border to the US in the very north. It's known because it was portrayed in many press articles and also movies play there, because it really is where the cartel, the drug cartels bring their drugs over, and where people are smuggled over the border from Mexico to the US, and it's a really a violent place, and more often than not, women become victims in all of this violence. It's mixed up. There's this cartel reign, I would like to say, and then on the other side there's all these assembly factories that people work in, which really keep them poor and make them open for, I don't know, working with the cartels and being in not so good living conditions. And so, yeah, it's a desert city. It's violent, and also sometimes there's some hope, and we think we found some of that hope there.
Why is gendered violence so prevalent there?
Well, I think it's a very big question. I think there are a lot of things that come together. Like the violence against women began to be known in the 90s, and it was more focused in these women who were working for the assemble factories. So these factories, what they do is they bring their products in different parts and they put them all together, and then they bring it to the border for the US. And these factories, they have very, very low salaries for the workers. At the beginning, there were only women working there, and they have very, very bad health conditions for them. But somehow at the 70s, 80s, the Mexican government and American government took the decision to begin to experiment with this kind of work. And what happened was that Ciudad Juarez grew up very, very fastly, without really having time to develop all the infrastructure that the city needed. So there were building up some suburbs around the city center, where all these newcoming families, mainly women, lonely women with children, were moving there and begin to work for the factories. And they will be working for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, for 50 euros a week, $50 a week. So at the end, you have an infrastructure where these women, they were taking the bus for the work. This bus travel will take maybe 1 hour or 2 hours. And in this bus travel, people were missing. So we believe that, let's say, the system we live in really is one of the reasons why all these things are happening to the women in Ciudad Juarez, because they were like an easy target for a lot of people. The women were not missed at the beginning because the places where they were living, they didn't have this connection to the neighbors, because everything happened very fast. We're talking about 5-10 years where the city really developed in a very, very, very developed. A lot of people moved into Juarez. And then there is, of course, an enormous machismo happening in the world and also in Ciudad Juarez. So there are a lot of different ingredients that will make this city such a place for what is happening there.
Sounds like there's a lot of elements.
Yeah,
sure.
We heard stories from the locals that in the beginning, when it blew up so fastly, and you had all these workers that were not kind of protected through the social structures they were coming from anymore, and then you had this city where some young drug lords. They were called the what were they called?
Juniors.
The juniors, which were like the younger generation of the drug cartel bosses, and they just took what they wanted to, and if that was women to kidnap and rape and kill them afterwards, then that was that. And so that's what we heard from the locals, that was the how it all started in the late 90s.
Mm-hmm. And I think there is also this feeling of I don't know, like there is, what is this word in English, when people feel they are less valuable than other ones? I don't find this English word right now. So there is, I think there are different ingredients that will make Juarez such a place, and we, yeah, it should be interesting to go through all of them, because it's not just a simple question to answer, or just one thing where you can say, okay, this is the problem and that's the solution. It's something very, very deep in the society and in the culture and in the system also where we live in.
Okay, so tell me about the catharsis that is experienced during the wrestling events there.
Well, Lucha Libre, it's a wonderful place where a lot of different feelings come up. So when you go to a Lucha Libre event, you go there and you see this incredible show, and you see these incredible fighters who they become at some point your idols, because they can fly, they hit, they stand up again, and they scream. And it's like an amazing thing to watch and to be part of. And there is a moment where you then also can get rid of all these, let's say, energy and stress and whatever you have been felt through the whole week. You stay there and you see all this happening, and you know, this energizing moment comes up, and you begin to scream and shout, and you're part of the entertainment. So it really, yeah, it really helps to get rid of all the problems you've been having through the week. And also a very important thing is you have the access to these wrestlers, to these fighters on the ring. You, after the fights, you have the possibility to be with them, to touch them, to make your selfies, to have the autograms. And this makes it very, I don't know, it fulfills a lot of feelings or a lot of things that you wish for in your life. It's something very, very beautiful.
Mm. Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, I definitely saw that in the documentary. There was like a big release after this, like all the pent up negative energy sort of being released temporarily during these events. Absolutely.
I have to remember right now that I just remember there's one fight we have in the movie where one of our main protagonists it's a really rough one. It's her and another girl against two guys, and then they finally end up fighting outside of the ring in really the dirt, and it gets really rough. And then you hear the audience all the time yelling and cursing and everything. And the loudest person you hear all the time is an older lady who's talking. I don't even know. Like, she's really just cursing at the guys all the time in the most dirty Mexican Spanish she can.
It's funny because she's very well known in every fight, and you know, if she's there, you know it's gonna be loud, and you know it's gonna get dirty. So it's
and it's so obviously a release for her from wherever she comes from during the week. On the weekends in the arena, everybody is free to say and release whatever, and it's fine, and the kids and the granny and everybody. And so it's also a bonding experience in a way.
All right, so tell me about your working relationship with one another, and how did you guys team up to make these projects?
Oh, we know each other from film school already for a couple of years, and then we both studied cinematography, and Paola started doing projects as a director too. And I was carrying around this little idea somehow, but I never really was brave enough to approach it. And then at one point, Paola was like, "Okay, let's do this together." And we started pitching it and writing treatments, and started looking for money and a way to actually go to Mexico and shoot a movie. And then it actually went really quickly. Like, after we decided, I think it wasn't even 6 months, which is a short time for in documentary producing world, that we were in Mexico and started working, and we're in the Lucha Libre scene and finding people. Yeah.
Cool. So how long was the shoot and how much danger did you feel?
Yeah, I mean, we went there several times, like for a research trip, and then like overall we were there for something like 5 months. And the whole question of it being dangerous for us was a back and forth. Initially, we had planned to go there with a little bit of a bigger team, like bringing somebody who's doing the sound, bringing somebody who's doing like production stuff, like driving us around, showing us things. But then after the first months we've been there for research, we realized if we go that big in a city like this, we most likely will become a target. So ultimately, also because our protagonist advised us to do so, we went there, only the two of us, with the smallest possible camera and sound equipment, and just kind of flew under the radar with our protagonists in their day-to-day life. And yeah, that was that. We kept it really low key. I think that was the thing. At one point there were, I mean, we didn't deal with dangerous people directly, but there's obviously in a city like this things happening, like we were just hanging around with one of them, and somebody nearby got killed, like, I don't know, 200 meters far away. A boy was shot while coming out of the school bus. And that is close, and that is closer than what we are used to.
Yeah.
We didn't feel immediate danger in the way that we were approached by people that we thought were really dangerous or stuff like this. More like in an abstract way that you're cautious all the time. And like I said, we were advised on many things by our protagonists because we got really close with them, I would say, to a level of friendship almost. And they told us day to day what to do, where to go, and where not to go. I mean, they had stuff like WhatsApp calls, WhatsApp messages that there was a shooting somewhere in town and that it's not advisable to go there right now. So that was faster via a messenger group than via news.
I think also like a good thing for us was the feeling to know that as long as we are part of a community, then this fear or the danger feels less than what it actually is, because it's not that we are just the both of us doing something. We really generate a group of people who were dealing with the whole time and who knew what are the rules to how to move in the city. So we felt we were really part of a bigger thing. So in somehow we felt secure because of them.
Was there a sense of relief when the shoot was finished? And what did you realize you took for granted the most while shooting this project?
I don't know if there was a release feeling because as Patrick was saying before, we feel very connected to the people. So it's not that it's done and we're gone.
Yeah.
So we're in touch with the people. We hear about how they are doing, and we hear about their happy things and sad things. So it's not like done, we are gone, not at all. So there is no feeling of relieving something or releasing something. I think the contrary. I am very happy that this film finally goes out and people can see them, and also for them, for the protagonists, to understand the way we see them is also the way we want the people to see them. So for me, it's very important that this movie goes out and they become a different audience than the audience that goes to the lucha libre fights. People who go to cinema are different people who watch films. So for me, it feels actually it's like the beginning of something very beautiful right now.
Yeah. Also, while we were making the movie, like a new Mexican feminist movement really exploded all throughout Mexico, and because femicide is a problem in bigger parts of Mexico, and there's this new movement that is really vocal about it, really loud, and they're really becoming a social force right now. And that was parallel to us shooting and producing the movie, and we very much hope that we can somehow, I don't know, support that whole movement with that movie, and that people will see the movie and then hopefully feel inspired by it to speak out and do something.
Mm-hmm. What are some of your all-time favorite documentaries?
Ooh.
Ta-da, ta-da, okay, so I mean, I would say, just like without thinking, there is this wonderful film, Bombay Beach.
That's what I wanted to say.
Which of course, it's like a big reference for us in the first way. Opera, sorry for that.
That's fine.
Because of the way the director deals with the protagonist is very important, and it's very kind and very, let's say, intimate. This is something we really appreciate in film.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course there is this cinematography side, where documentaries nowadays also have this beautiful way of storytelling. And I think Bombay Beach is an example that brings this all together. Like, this will be one of our main films. I mean, there are so many, like of fathers and sons. This is a wonderful film, also like with an incredible storytelling, and also, a lot of power, like the filmmaker behind the camera risking his life for going there and being with these people. I think, I don't know, it's different. There are different kind of documentaries. There are different ways of making films. It's a difficult question.
We really, I think, and that is something that we both have in common, is that we really connect to documentaries that give you that an immersive feeling, where you don't feel like you get reported from somewhere from a journalist, but where you really feel you're with real life people in actual truthful situations. And so that probably like our movie, where there's no interviews or something like that, that's what we really connect to in the documentary field.
Okay. Are you excited that this film is included in South by Southwest?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're super, super happy. It's like really one of the festivals that where we ourselves look at when it comes up, or what is happening there. And also because of the location. I mean, this year it's going to be, sadly, because of the pandemic, an online version of it. But when we first heard of it, we were a little bit hoping that they had some actual events, because it's kind of close to Ciudad, Juarez, where we shot. And then maybe some of our protagonists could have made it there, and we could have had a little premiere. But after the pandemic.
Yeah, maybe in the summer we can do something with them. Yeah, but we're very happy, of course. South by Southwest is actually one of the best platforms where the film can be launched. So we're very, very happy.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Do you have a final thought you would like to end this interview with?
No, I mean, this film, okay, maybe just the last thing. Yeah, this film was made because we were very inspired by this woman we met in Ciudad, Juarez. So we would like the people who watch the film also to get inspired by them. I think that's the message.
Yeah, we think it's a film that hopefully is bigger than the femicide and the lucha libre, but tells a story of braveness, and because that's what we feel they are really. And yeah, we hope that comes across when somebody watches the movie.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, guys.
Thank you so much for having us here. It was super nice.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Take care.